Okay, welcome back. This will be the third video. It should be probably the final. If I do some more profile wings or symmetrical wings, I'll make some more videos at some point. But this explains and shows the operation of this. This should be the last one. We're set up, ready to go. The bow's on. Everything's ready to go. We're going to run this one at about 20 volts. And each wire takes, again, about 1 3/4 to 2 amps, same as a scroll. It has nothing to do with wire length, it has to do with the gauge. The longer the wire gets, the higher the voltage has to be to get the same amperage through it, but once you get 2 amps through this wire, it's plenty hot to cut. So that means 7 wires, we're pulling 13 to 14 amps with this setup. And the goal here is just to make a nice smooth cut. The springs here, when we get a nice bow in your wire, the springs will stretch and they help you out, because if you happen to slow down or stop just a little bit as you're pulling, the springs will help keep the speed of the wire where it's supposed to be. And someday I'll put a gravity system on, or maybe even a stepper motor with just variable speed controller to bring it forward and give a nicer cut. The other thing to keep in mind is this process could be reversed. You could actually cut, these are wings we did earlier, you could actually cut sheets of foam first and then either knife them out individually, and you wouldn't need a scroll saw, or you can stack them up. I think you could stack them up and scroll them out that way, or cut one at a time. Either way, but I place these back here just to help create a better vacuum up here. The cheater hole door is completely shut. So, okay, Tina. I'm just trying to create a nice bow in the wire, let the wire do the work, but keep pressure on it. And that's where the springs come in. They help make up pressure if you happen to stop or slow down a little bit. Putting a fair amount of pressure on it. I'd say probably at least a pound, if not more, in pressure. Probably 2 pounds. I want to keep the wires bowed, keep the springs stretched. That's what makes it for a smooth cut. As it comes out, it starts to smoke. You need to turn the fan on, buddy. When I get down here to the end, the first wire comes out, I don't want to go all the way out. I want to actually stop, let the springs do the rest of the work. There, that center wire finally comes out. Now I can come on out. And right away while it's hot, wipe it down. See there? There's foam on there, that's what's smoking. Vaporizing that foam, so you want to clean the wire off while it's hot yet. Okay, Tina. So you can see we've got 6 parts. We have a skin on the top and a skin on the bottom. That's trash. And now you see what I mean by cutting it with one wire. What happens, you tend to get this cupping or curling. This piece actually isn't too bad, believe it or not. But depending on the piece of foam you're using and the stresses within it, you tend to get them real bad. But that's how it works. That's the skin. That's the cut. Pretty nice cut considering I did it by hand. All the way through. We'll knife these tabs off as we build the planes. And check, see how accurate we are here. But typically it comes out to 1.5 or just either a little over or maybe even a little under, depending on the density of the foam. From front to back, 1.49, 1.48, almost 49. So it comes out nice. There's 2.6. This one's just a little bit over. Some of them will be just slightly under, but they all are fairly flat. You'll get some bowing depending on how the foam was stressed inside. The Formula 150s, I think, is a pretty cheap recycled foam. If I got some better quality foam, I think I get better parts, but then the cost goes up, kind of defeats the whole purpose of this. This here is a 1/2-inch wing I cut out the other day, and this is going to be designed for either, I can actually lay this on the table, stick it down, make a mark where my KF airfoil is going to be, and I can take the hand bow, I can just freehand and just drop in with these rail guides up 1/4 inch. I can just drop in and pull out, and I have a 1-piece KF airfoil. If it's KF4, you just flip it over and do it on the other side too. Or I can use this, and I'll explain this in a later video. I can actually use this to put a leading edge, move the wing back, and put my trailing edge on, and the rest of the wing will be somewhat flat here. So I'll have a modified full symmetrical wing. I'll even be able to, depending on where I put this piece in relation to my wire here, I can move this wing back and forth. I can actually create a washout effect, because the center point of my leading edge will start to center here and will end up down here just by position, where I position the wing. So that's what I'll be doing in another video later on sometime. I want to experiment with the symmetrical airfoils and see how much difference there is when they're flying. So it leaves a little bit of a thread or hair on the surface that you can just rub off like that. A little block sponge removes them quickly. I honestly don't worry about them. I leave them on there. Someday, if I ever get good enough pilot, we'll paint them. But I'd rather work with that than with bent warped foam. One thing I didn't mention is the tabletop. If you build something like this needs to be as flat and as level as you can get it. And that's why I use particle board here. It just tends to be flat and level, but the box itself needs to be leveled up before everything gets glued together. That's very important, because when you're trying to cut across the whole table, you want even cuts. I didn't point out the scroll saw. The wire goes through the scroll saw is actually a brass bolt, and I drilled a hole through it. And I'm sure you probably figured that out, but I didn't mention that. Let me show you. This is a F-22 wing that I hot wired with just a single wire. And so you understand what I'm saying when I say it bows. See what happens? This was the blank, and I was cutting off the bottom, and it kept cupping on me. So that is very annoying, especially on the wing. It's very annoying. So that's where I came up with this bow. It seems to do the job as long as the wires travel pretty much together. Okay, as long as the wires travel pretty much the same speed and together, you get fairly flat pieces. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the table and everything that goes with it. And if you have a bunch of pieces cut out, it makes this a very fast process, multiple planes. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something.